Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today, the thing I wanted to do was analyze one of my better games. Right, I got a 91.7% accuracy with a pretty clean win, one mistake. And we'll be going over this game, and we'll be trying to find our mistakes and what we really made. So you could see that White was kind of winning, but then I sort of found a move that kind of accelerated my position. So this is against 15-13. Huge shout out to my opponent because he's in my video and he made this possible. While it wasn't actually deliberate, it's still very helpful. So let's jump right into the game. So first, I want to talk about the game shape. So just says right here, giveaway. One player was winning, but then gave it away. So it wasn't that much of a height. Alright, he was up by 2 at his max, and then I got up by 65. So he was kind of winning because I made a small little error that he could have maybe won a pawn if I played it wrong. But it's fine because no more is that there after I won that game. And so this game was played a few days ago, but let's jump right into the analysis. So let's start with the first move. And yeah, okay. So we play the King's Pawn opening, and I play the Petrov. This is one of my go-to. I either play the Dutch, but if they play King's Pawn, I usually play the Petrov. So we play the three knights of the Petrov, that kind of variation. I think this is called three knights game. Yeah, three knights game. It just makes it three knights game. Otherwise, it is three knights game. But this is a book move of a variation. It's d6. It further protects your pawn, but doesn't bring your knight out too early, so that you're protecting. Because I don't like the four knights game, right? I done it that much. I don't like it because it's too symmetrical. I like it to be a little bit unequal, but it's sort of the position transpositions to some sort of a middle game that isn't very close but isn't open either. You can't really see many moves until we start trading some pieces, which is right about here in when I make a small mistake. So yeah, so I play d6 and bishop c4. So this isn't exactly an opening, but it's played by a lot of great players. So I play h6, protecting this square, and opponent plays castle. So just keeping his thing safe. And I'm thinking maybe I should long castle. So I bring my knight out. But then I'm like, yeah, maybe there'll be a lot of attacks if I'm castling alongside queenside. So I'll castle short and start an attack on the queen side. But this doesn't happen because we trade a lot of pieces and it's a really open position that neither of us can actually attack each other, but more of just wait for the other's mistake. So he tries to take some space in the middle. I take, he takes, I take. And it's a lot of trades that make the position a lot more open, right? He has dominant control of the center, but I strike in the middle. However, this isn't a very good move because of the fact that the queen can just slide back and give this pawn some more fuel. So if he goes here, for example, it's not the best move, but it's still possible, right? And if you look over here, we just give this a second or maybe more than a second. Yeah, it's good. So this is better. Okay, so let me see why this is better. So this is better because after a castle, they still have dominant center, right? They have dominant center power. While I'm stuck on this queen side middle type of thing, they're going to start an attack after a castle. But he gives a check, so I block, takes, and I take. So he moves back one because he has to move out of the way of the pawn. And I play this move. I want to create some sort of queenside attack right now. It's an inaccuracy because he doesn't address this pawn push that I might make. And I do make it. knight slides in, trying to get out of attack before the attack starts, which I don't usually do, but I guess that is a good move in this situation. I take and he takes with the queen, and instead of moving my rook or protecting it with the queen or something, I castle because my rook comes out to protect the other rook. Bishop out to attack my pawn, but I try to trade queens, and that's when he makes the first mistake that gives me. Okay, because if you look over here, in this position, he's kind of winning. But after this move, it's because of the fact that this is just losing a pawn. I took. If he takes, it's just a free queen. He can't take that. So he takes my queen. And here's where he makes a really big mistake. After I take, he tries to attack that pawn. He's like, oh, I can get that pawn back. He forgets that I'm just about to take his bishop. That's what I do. He takes my pawn, of course, because that's his material advantage. The most material advantage that he can get at this point. And I bring my bishop to attack the pawn. And then I give a check to see where the king goes. Sometimes even grandmasters or even the lowest of chess ratings play this move. So it's kind of seeing, all right, where will you go, right? Will you go here? Because maybe I'll have an attack on that side. Will you go here? Because maybe I have a different attack on that side. If you go here, but I have this attack on this side. So it's just to see where will this king go? What should I do? What should my game plan be about? Should it be controlling this square, this square, this square? Where should I bring my pieces? Right? So oftentimes you just have to give a check to wait for the opponent's mistake. But the opponent plays a good move. Either of these moves are fine. This move is just a little bit hectic. It's just not required, right? I mean, why move your king there? But right where there's checks, there's a lot of threats. They say it's excellent, but then there's a lot of threats from these rooks, right? I have two rooks, and you don't have a bishop, so I could deliver checkmate threats, threats to take your other rook, and my rook is also looking over here. I don't really agree with bringing it to dark square because if your pawn moves in the future, I can give a check somehow, and then I can take your rook. So I have some sort of sacrifice if you miss that. But from a robot point of view, from a bot point of view, like this is chess.com bot rated like 3,300 or something, right? It'll obviously not miss that. But for a human point of view, you might miss that. So he plays this move. This is a good move. I attack that rook immediately. He takes, I take. And he makes that. We make no mistakes after that point where he hung his bishop. And in this point somewhere, so I play this move. He takes my pawn. I push, right? So the thing is, I sacrificed a pawn here, right? If he took, well, free rook, right? Just a free rook. So he doesn't do that. He's like, oh, free pawn, but that's not the point. The point is that I get to promote now. I'm gonna go here. Really? Oops. Yeah, you have to play this move before that because you're not protecting that pawn anymore. So, yeah. So, but that's the whole point of that sacrifice. So I go there, and he said, I can win another pawn. How are you going to protect it? Are you going to go here to protect it? But no, that's not actually the best move. And it's a bit of a sacrifice. I protect that pawn. And he takes the pawn. And you might be like, okay, so now protect your bishop. Right? And I play kind of a sacrifice. And a pretty clean sacrifice. It's a really good sacrifice. Pawn to c2. Yay, free bishop. No, it's not. No, it's not. I just got your rook and I made a queen. So you're like, okay, so I won't take the bishop, I'll just go here. And now you won't get promote. Oh, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because now my bishop slides in. Which is why this pawn is so perfect. These pawns on the G file, E file, C file, and A file are perfect because they have dark squares at the end. Which is why this pawn was perfect to push at the beginning. The rooks couldn't stop it. My bishop was coming. And that's what I play. Rook takes. I mean, there's no way to stop that pawn from promoting. and he tries his last resort to try to promote a pawn. Maybe he can, maybe I blunder, but no, I just get the pawns, and just like that, I'm completely winning. And after right here in this position, he resigns because it's a mate in three, I think. Uh, here. Oh wait, no, it's my move. Okay, here, and then here, and then I think yeah, you're supposed to protect from both squares. So now, if here, there's one move. Rook here. He resigns. I think he saw that. And anyways, I had so much material. Even if I lost both of these pawns, I still had a rook and a bishop and a king. Easy, right? You can easily beat someone with these pieces. So that was that game. So I want to point out a few things. Go to mind in the video if you didn't understand that bishop sacrifice or something. Um, I actually encourage you to go back and look and see if maybe there was something that you didn't understand. And I will link this. I'll give you the guys the PNG so that you can enter it into an analysis and look at what the computer says. Right, that's what I always like to do. So I will put that PNG in the description. Go check that out. Put in the analysis. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe.